Hi guys, we are so happy that you can be with us. Phoebe Needles Day Camp isn't running quite the way we used to do it, but we're still going to have a lot of fun with you, do a lot of songs, games, crafts, and we're excited to be with you. So I'm Miss Leslie, it's so nice to see you again, and I want to introduce you to my new staff.
I'm Miss Kiana. I'm Miss Jessica.
I'm Mr. Nick.
And I'm Mr. Connor.
So we are really looking forward to spending the day with you. I hope you enjoy all the things that we've recorded for you. Remember, you can always pause them if you need a little longer on crafts. You can modify any dance that we're doing or any yoga that we're doing to do what works for your body. We are so happy to be with you. We hope you have a great time. See you soon. Okay, I'm ready. Hi guys, so good to be back with you. Starting our session today with The Biggest House in the World by Leo Leone. And all of our crafts will be based on this. He has amazing artwork. There's a lot of things in here that will spark ideas that you can create some art on your own, which we would love for you to send in. Some snails lived on a juicy cabbage. They moved gently around, carrying their houses from leaf to leaf in search of a tender spot to nibble on. One day, a little snail said to his father, "When I grow up, I want to have the biggest house in the world." "That's silly," said his father, who happened to be the wisest snail on the cabbage. "Some things are better small." He told this story. Once upon a time, a little snail just like you said to his father, "When I grow up, I want to have the biggest house in the world." "Some things are better small," said his father. "Keep your house light and easy to carry." But the little snail would not listen, and hidden in the shade of a large cabbage leaf, he twisted and twitched this way and that until he discovered how to make his house grow. It grew and grew, and the snails on the cabbage said, "You surely have the biggest house in the world." The little snail kept on twisting and twitching until his house was as big as a melon. Then, by moving his tail swiftly from left to right, he learned to grow large, pointed bulges. And by squeezing and pushing and by wishing very hard, he was able to add bright colors and beautiful designs. Now he knew that his was the biggest and most beautiful house in the whole world. He was proud and happy. A swarm of butterflies flew overhead. "Look," one of them said, "a cathedral." "Oh," said another, "it's a circus." They never guessed that what they were looking at was the house of a small snail. And a family of frogs on their way to a distant pond stopped in awe. "Never," they later told some cousins, never have you seen such an amazing sight. An ordinary little snail with a house like a birthday cake. One day, after they had eaten all the leaves and only a few knobby stems were left, the snails moved to another cabbage. But the little snail, alas, couldn't move. His house was much too heavy. He was left behind, and with nothing to eat, he slowly faded away. Nothing remained but the house, and that too, little by little, crumbled until nothing remained at all. That was the end of the story. The little snail was almost in tears, and then he remembered his own house. "I shall keep it small," he thought, "and when I grow up, I shall go wherever I please." And so one day, light and joyous, he went on to see the world. Some leaves fluttered lightly in the breeze, and others hung heavily on the ground. Where the dark earth had split, crystals glittered in the early sun. There were polka-dotted mushrooms and towery stems from which little flowers seemed to wave. There was a pine cone lying in the lacy shade of ferns, and pebbles in a nest of sand, smooth and round like the eggs of the turtle dove. Lichen clung to the rocks and barked to the trees. The tender buds were sweet and cool with morning dew. The little snail was very happy. This is my favorite page of the book, and I'll hold it up for quite a while because if you look very closely, the artist, the illustrator of this book, I'll have to go back and see what it is, has added lots of little details to all of these rocks that match his house. The seasons came and went, but the snail never forgot the story his father had told him. And when somebody asked, "How come you have such a small house?" he would tell the story of the biggest house in the world. Look how tiny he's kept his shell. All right, guys, we have a lot of fun crafts today. I'm looking forward to spending another day with you. Bye.
For this craft, we're going to be making a mushroom. So you're going to need a color, your main color. I chose green for this one. And one, if you want to do speckles, you don't have to do speckles. Alright, so for your first one, you're going to draw the mushroom shape, which is just kind of a little squiggle like this. You start down and you come back out, and then you draw a line over. That's it. But make sure you draw it on the fold, so when you unfold it, you get two.
You can also draw this out flat in any kind of shape that you want. This craft, I think you have a lot of room to do whatever you want to do. In fact, we saw some where they had used cupcake liners. Make sure you ask your mom and dad if you can use those. But cupcake liners, you could use material. You can make it look more like a mushroom and not put a face on it. And you could also do these if you don't have craft sticks. This is really one you can do tons of different ways.
Yeah.
If you don't have craft sticks, you could go out in the yard and find some twigs, because all you're basically doing is creating a stem out of whatever you like, and the cap of the mushroom making a bunch of fungi. You are a fun guy.
Why did the mushroom always get invited to parties?
Because he was a fun guy? Nice.
Oh man.
So some of you, oh, mine is not such a together mushroom.
Mine was the mustache.
I wanted to make him more fat. So maybe I will make him still fat, but not so. So when we were coming up with this craft, what we thought was, we've done a whole lot of snails. If you guys wanted to, you could take the snails that you've made and make as many mushrooms in as many different ways that you might want to make them. And you could actually like play with them. Make up stories and stuff. Oh. Did Mr. Jacob see you? Mr. Jacob is taping for us. I think it's important you share that with our children. You could also become a snail yourself. I must ask you a question.
I'll shave it for later.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm actually not going to create mine because I'm just chatting and watching. They make me think of like just a person with a hat is how all of these are looking.
Like a big fancy hat.
Yeah, yeah. So I like them. I like them. I like them. There are also mushrooms, if you have a hard time with the shape, they're called button mushrooms, and they're actually what I like to cook often at my house. And they look like, if you play Mario, they look like Mario's hat. So you could just make a mushroom using Mario's hat.
Toad, is his name Toad? It's just Toad.
Just Toad?
Yeah. Toad is the one that looks like that.
Okay. All right, so actually I changed my mind. I am going to make it so that I can put it on my picture and show something different. And I really like to add like 3D, so how Miss Kiana used a different color and cut out hers. I think I'm gonna do the same thing and cut out some other dots. But you normally like 2D. Yeah, so you decorated yours with a pen.
Gave mine like a little straw hat,
Yeah.
tie, shirt, and some purple
If you
pants.
notice, we haven't super cleaned up our table because we knew we would all be creating different shapes and sizes. So we are trying to reuse material. But if you don't want your parents to say that you can't make crafts, make sure you clean up your mess. And you know that's a big deal at when we get to be together as campers too, because we don't want to leave any trash in nature, and we don't want to leave anything that an animal might accidentally pick up and get hurt on. So it's just important when you're creating things that you also choose to clean up your messes. Being good stewards of what we've been given. All right, how are we? This is a pretty quick craft. You can
didn't
spend.
have to wait on me this time.
We did not, because you were the leader. We figured it out. Okay. Oh, nice. I like these. Are we good? Mm-hmm. So this craft can take as long or as short as you want. We all did it fairly quickly because we had our own ideas. There you go. There's my mushroom.
What's your boy's name, yours?
Oh no, I blend in with that.
His name is Hank.
Oh.
Mine's Mushy. Very original.
Steve.
Steve. All right, guys. Good to spend some time with you. We are going to clean up. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hi kids, welcome to session 7 yoga. Hold on.
Just keep going. Just fine.
Okay. Hi kids, welcome to session 7 yoga. Join Miss Jessica, Mr. Greg, and Mr. Peter.
Hello everyone, welcome to Cosmic Kids. I'm Jamie and this is your place for yoga, stories and fun. Now we always begin in the same way, and that's by sitting on our bottoms with our legs crossed and bringing our hands together at our hearts and saying our secret yoga code word, which is Namaste. Ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. There. Now we're ready to begin. And today we're off to Costa Rica, to the rainforest, to meet Frank the Frog. There's going to be a special Olympic Games and we're going to go and cheer him on. So let's get ready for our journey by packing a bag, putting our legs out long and taking our fingers down to our toes, maybe bending our knees a little bit. We open up our suitcase with a ooh, and take our arms out wide. Then we twist round one way and we get our waterproofs. We need to keep dry in the rain and we put them in. Waterproofs, 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 waterproofs. We take our arms out wide again and twist the other way and get our insect repellent. We don't want to get bitten. And we get that and we put it in with a yay! We take our arms up tall again, bending our knees a little bit, and we close our suitcase. Ready? Ooh. There. Now we give everyone at home a great big hug to say goodbye. Come to our knees, take your arms out wide, and wrap them up with a great big hug. Lovely. Then we open up the door by taking one leg out to the side and lifting our arm up to the sky and opening the door. Ooh. We bring 2 knees back together again and put our other leg out to the side. Then we close the door behind us with a ooh. There. Now we catch an aeroplane. Take your arms out wide like wings and put your hand down to the side. Wave at the sky and put your foot in front of your knee. Then shoot your back leg out behind you and all the way round one side of the world. Then come back to 2 knees again. Take your wings out wide and drop down onto the other side, waving at the sky. Then bring your foot in front of your knee and shoot your back leg out to the side and say, meow. And we've arrived in Costa Rica. Yay! We stand up and we look through our binoculars, bringing our thumbs and fingers together. We have a look through. Ooh. There's There's lots of very tall trees here. We can't see very much. Let's climb up. Up we go, 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 up we go. Oh, we're quite high now, so we try putting one foot on top of the other, using our heel and bringing our hands together at our hearts. Then we grow our tree up very tall and you look like you might be quite a strong tree today. I wonder if I can blow you down. You stay tall and strong and I'll have a go. Are you ready? Here we go. Doopy doopy doo. I don't believe it! You're still standing up. You are a really strong tree today. Let's try the other side, shall we? Let's put our other foot on top, using our heel again, and bring our hands together at our hearts and grow our tree up nice and tall. Oh, trying not to wobble. Oh, we're very tall trees today. At the top of this tree, we meet a monkey who jumps very high into the air to say hello. Ready? Coming down onto your tiptoes and your fingertips, he does a big monkey jump. 1, 2, 3. He's very pleased to see us, and he points us in the direction of the swamp, although I think he's a bit confused. He stands up and he points with his toe to the floor. He points at his toe with his finger. And then he points at the sky with his other finger. And then he points at his eye with his tongue. This is one confused monkey. We say namaste to thank him. Namaste. And we jump down. 1, 2, 3. Boing. Oh no, at the bottom of the tree is a crocodile. Lying on your side, stretch your arms out long and your legs out long and open up your big crocodile mouth. Oh, we better hide. We don't want this crocodile to see us. We tuck ourselves up into a tiny little ball. Shh. Then we hear a funny noise. We sit up because the crocodile is asleep. Quick, let's stand up and tiptoe away. Quick. Phew! Now we take big steps through the undergrowth to get to the river. Ready? Big step. And last time, big step. And we arrive at the river. Yay! There's a boat waiting for us, sitting on our bottoms. Take your hands behind you. Lift up 1 foot. Lift up 2 feet. Lift up 1 hand. And lift up no hands. Give me a wave! Yay! Well done, everyone. We row our boat down the river, taking our legs out long, and we hold onto one of our feet, and we row with our oar. Ready? Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Oh dear, we've rowed around in a circle. Let's row with the other oar. So we take that one. Here we go. Row, row, row the boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And up pops a fish to say hello. Can you point your toes and come down onto your elbows? Then pop, pop, pop your chest up to the sky and look all the way up and maybe behind you. The fish says, "Oh, hello, would you like a pull? I'll get you there a lot faster." Well, that would be nice, but we don't think the fish can probably pull us very fast, but nice of him to offer. "Let's go," we say, and off he goes, starting to pull our boat. We were wrong. He pulls us so fast that we have to stand up, hold on to the front of our boat, and bounce like we're water skiing. Bounce, bounce, bounce down the river. Bounce, bounce, bounce down the river. It's like we're water skiing. It's so much fun. We let go with one arm and we step back with one leg, and all of a sudden, we're surfing. other way and do it the other side too. Backwards. Oh no, up ahead, the fish hasn't seen the ginormous waterfall. We're going down, everyone, ready? Down with a splash, we sit on our bottoms and we tumble all the way into the water. Whee! Whoosh! Goodness me! We come up onto our knees and we swim up to the surface of the water. Ready? Oh, we've popped out. And it's the opening ceremony of the Olympics. And all of the frogs are singing and dancing. They look very good. Let's join in with them. Ready? Standing up. They're singing. Oh yeah, we hop. Oh yeah, we leap. We go rip it to the beat. Our legs are long, got sticky feet. That we twizzle side to side to the beat. They're brilliant at this dancing and singing. We love it. Then Frank the Frog hops over to see us. Yay! Coming down, he does a little hop. Ready? Ribbit. 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 Then he hops high into the air. 1, 2, 3. Ribbit. Ribbit. Welcome to the Froggy Olympic Games. I am so happy to see you. Come on, we've got to go and cheer on all of our friends. Let's go to the diving pool and see the dolphins. Oh, the dolphins. We love dolphins. Freshwater dolphins. Come to our knees. We cheer them on. Ready? Go Dolphins! Go Dolphins! Go Dolphins! Other way. Go Dolphins! Go Dolphins! Go Dolphins! The dolphins start to dive, and boy oh boy are they good at diving. We crisscross our fingers and we come down onto our elbows. And so the dolphins begin to dive. They're amazing, and they dive even better when we cheer them on. Next it's time to go to the rock pool where the river rock crabs are playing football. Yes! We cheer them on with Frank. Ready? Go crabs! Go crabs! Go crabs! Go crabs! Other way. Go crabs! Go crabs! Go crabs! And here they go, those crabs playing football. Sitting on our bottoms, bend our knees, feet flat, hands behind you. Lift your bottom up and let's digger that way first. Ready? Digger, 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 digger. Ooh, other way. Digger, 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 digger. Ooh. Let's do 2 more. Ready? Digger, 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 digger. Woo! And the last one. Digger, 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 digger. Woo! Oh, the crabs are brilliant footballers, but it's time to go on to the jungle jumps, where the grasshoppers are doing the high jump at the Olympics, and Frank the Frog is so excited to cheer them on as well. Come to our knees again. We cheer on the grasshoppers. Go grasshoppers, go grasshoppers, go grasshoppers. Other way. Go grasshoppers, go grasshoppers, go grasshoppers. After that, Frank whispers in our ear, I am a little bit nervous because next it is my race, the lily pad leaps, and I have to race with the blue frog Bolt. The blue frog Bolt? We see him. He looks amazing. Standing up, take your legs wide, stick your arm up high and pull back with your top arm like blue frog Bolt. He swaps his side around, twisting the other way, taking the other arm up high and pulling the back arm back. He looks super fast. We can understand why our poor friend Frank is a bit nervous. But we're going to help him get ready by getting him warmed up with some Froggy Hops. Ready? Coming down, we put our hands down, sticking them to the ground, and then we do a big Froggy Hop into the air. Ready? Hop! And again. Hop! That's it. That's got his legs nice and ready. Then we do some calm froggy breaths so that he feels not nervous at all, just calm as a cucumber. Crisscross your fingers underneath your chin. Lift up your elbows as you breathe in. And again. Now he feels really calm and ready to get into position on his lily pad. Frank gets into position, as does Blue Frog Bolt. Here they go. On them hooks. Get set. Go! And they begin hopping across the lily pads. Hopping, 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 and hopping. Frank goes into the lead, and we cheer him on with a Go Frank! Go Frank! Go Frank! Go Frank! Other way. Go Frank! Go Frank! Go Frank! And he hops even faster. Hop, 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 hop. But the little blue frog is coming up behind him. Blue Frog Bolt is super fast, but oh no! He misses his footing and he falls off a lily pad. Sitting on your bottom, lifting your legs and arms. Landing with a sploosh into the water. Oh no! Frank the Frog stops the race immediately. He stands up on his lily pad, lifts his long froggy arms up, and he dives into the water to go and save Blue Frog Bolt. Sploosh. What's happened to them? Everyone looks and holds their breath. Where is Frank? Where is Blue Frog Bolt? Then all of a sudden, out of the water, coming onto your tummies, everyone, out comes Blue Frog Bolt. Oh. And out beneath him comes Frank the Frog, who has saved his life as he lifts up Blue Frog Bolt and pops him on a lily pad. Frank is a hero. Take your feet out wide and see if you can just sit between your feet. We crisscross our fingers and lift up our hands and cheer like a hero for Frank. Yay! It's time for us to go. And here comes a very friendly firefly, lying on our backs. Lift up our legs, wiggle our toes and wiggle our fingers like a buzzy firefly in the night. And one of them says, "Taxi!" "Oh, yes please, we'd like to get home on a firefly." So we snuggle down, lying on our lovely firefly's back. And we get ourselves super comfortable, ready for our journey home. And as we lay here, snuggled up, feeling all lovely and cozy, we can hear below us the sound of the frogs singing again. And we think about how Frank stopped his race and jumped in to save Blue Frog Bolt. Because it's not always about winning. It's sometimes about looking out for your friends. And what's brilliant is if you can cheer your friends on. And when you cheer your friends on, everyone does so much better. So give your friends your cheers. Tell them that they're brilliant and see how they become even better with every cheer. Now it's time to slowly begin to wake up again. We wiggle our fingers and our toes. And we hug our knees into our chest. And we roll over onto our side and come up to sitting. With our legs crossed, just the way we started, with our hands together at our hearts. And we finish our story with our secret yoga code word, which is namaste. Remember? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Namaste.
That looked like so
Well
much
done, everyone.
fun.
Thank you for coming to
Did you guys
Costa
have a
Rica to the
great
Froggy
time?
Olympic Games with me.
I low-key
Frank,
did.
that's
Like,
great.
So
yeah.
good. I'm
I'll
so
see you again
glad.
soon for another Cosmic Kids
was-
adventure. Bye-bye.
That's just exciting. So you can see her in lots of different places. Can we mute her because we're still recording, right? We'll slice that out. So, was it hard?
Yes.
Some of it was hard?
Yes.
Did you need to stop and get a drink?
No, we went
straight.
We just went on.
Okay, would you like to stop and get a drink now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so let's do that. I'm so glad you liked it. It looked so much fun. Did you guys like it too? We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey guys, today, because you know, the biggest house in the world, that was the name,
Right,
right?
that
The
was.
snail. We're gonna make a snail. Here's mine. It's pretty easy to make. So we're gonna need 2 pieces of paper, and at least one of them is gonna need to be thick, kind of like cardstock or something. It just makes it better. The other one can be thinner, or it probably should be, because you're gonna roll it up. So to start, you're gonna cut your strips. I believe they already have their strips.
So, well, we started this, so I just cut a circle. Some of the snails you could put sitting on a leaf or whatever you wanted to do. If you don't have cardstock, you could also use cardboard. But as Connor showed you, we're just gonna have our snail glued on top of here, so I just made a circle out of mine, but you can make a leaf. And then what do we do with our strip of paper?
So you're gonna take the strip, you're gonna put it in your pencil, and you're gonna roll it all the way up as tight as you can with the pencil. I don't have a strip,
It's
but
stuck on my finger.
they do. Looks like Nicholas has got it.
Does it matter if I keep it like straight on my pencil, or does it just matter that it's tight?
I mean, if you keep it straight, it'll keep the snail looking straighter. So you can do whatever you want. If you do it to the side, it may make it look more 3D.
Okay. So we're just rolling it. Okay.
And then, a little quicker, everybody. Mrs. Kiana needs to cut her strip.
I like all these snail crafts that we're doing. That's fun.
Snails are my favorite animal.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I like
Nice.
turtles. I like turtles.
I like dogs. Oh.
Kind of fell apart a little bit.
I held mine smushed.
Unroll it.
I think I want to glue it before I unroll it. What?
I'm just looking.
Okay.
Okay,
Alright.
so now that everyone's got it, you're going to take one end, the end of the outside, and you're going to probably unroll it a little bit, and you're going to glue it down on your leaf, like Mrs. Kiana has, or your circle, like Miss Leslie and Mr. Nick have.
I'm going to fold mine here because I want his face to sort of pop and be 3D.
Okay.
Is that cool?
That is perfectly fine.
Okay. So then we're gluing this down?
Yep, glue it down, staple it down, tape it down, whatever you want. Nicholas has a long head. I'm going to move them a little bit.
That's the nice thing about using glue sticks. You can move them once you start it. All right, and see now, Mr. Nick, I think if I pull this out, it makes it bigger, yeah. I like it, but I think I want his face sort of down. I'm gonna glue that too. Okay. I like him. We can have snail races.
Like in the movie Turbo.
Yeah!
So now, well, I guess not everyone's done, but Miss Leslie and Mr. Nick.
I'm re-rolling
Guess
mine.
we're waiting on Miss Kiana.
Yet again.
Should we care how long it takes to do crafts?
Nope.
Is it ever wrong to restart?
No.
No.
No. That's cute. I like it. I like that a lot.
So now you can, I guess, draw them, put in pieces of paper, or I did pipe cleaners and I poked them through and made 2 little eyes.
Can I have the googly eyes, please? The googly
If you
eyes are
don't
my best
have googly eyes, you are more than welcome. Mr. Nick has chosen, oh, I love that. He's chosen to draw them. I sort of like the antenna idea that you did. Did you poke it through?
Yeah, I poked it through and folded it in the bottom so they wouldn't slide around.
Okay. Do you think it'd be cool if I just taped it or just, oh yeah, that
I
works.
think we tape it.
All right. Do they lose?
Put it on a shelf. I can find it.
Mr. Nick likes to name his
Thanks.
arts.
Appreciate that.
Mine's Steve.
Billy Bob. I like Billy Bob.
We need a female representation, so mine's Shirley.
I like it.
Thanks. So I'm just gonna tape that down. This makes me very happy. I like it.
My eyes are
These are really cute. I hope you guys send in pictures of yours. So Nick's making his spin. It's funny how each of ours does like kind of fun things, because I like when mine moves that his butt sort of moves when I push him. But Nick's is really doing a great job spinning.
Mine doesn't. But
Yours
you can name
doesn't.
Steve the snail now.
Steve the snail. Oh look, yours is a really good sideways one.
That's my little eyeballs. Oh, I'm gonna glue them down.
All right, guys. Well, we have loved our snail. We'll put pictures so that you guys can take some time looking at them. Please send in yours. We'd love to see them. Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's put these.
Hey everybody, back with another craft from Biggest House in the World based on that. We're just going to make a circular snail with multicolored shell. So basically you just need any color paper you want to get your snail and just draw it and then cut him out. So if you guys want to go ahead and draw your snails and cut them out.
Can I just make it with circles and put a head on it then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I don't have to cut out a snail. I can just cut out circles.
Right.
How many circles do I need?
You can have as many as you want. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
You could have 3, 2, you could have 97 if you really wanted to.
I don't want 97.
No.
All right, so I want to start with a big one now because I want to do biggest house in the world. So I'm going to start. This is going to be my biggest circle that fits here, and I'm just going to glue and stack. Does that work? And then maybe I'll get Mr. Nick or Mr. Connor to draw my head because I am not so good at that. And so as you're cutting, if you're choosing to cut, Mr. Nick did it and he said he did it with markers too, and he liked that too. So as you're doing it, you can lay it down before you start gluing and make sure that you like all the colors. And what you're looking for is just for it to become a smaller and smaller circle. Now you guys did the house tour. I didn't do the house tour with you, but was there any circular kind of buildings that were in the house tour?
A lot of them had like really rough edges and looked really modern. Maybe the Sydney Opera House, it looked not exactly circular, but it had smoother, more rounded. It had that kind of look to it. Whereas a lot of the other ones were very like sharp corners and straight lines.
The Taubman Museum, I think, is one of our coolest buildings here in Roanoke, and it has, to me, a lot of angles.
Yes. It's almost like the Walt Disney Concert Hall. We learned about that in my architecture class, and it was on there. It has lots and lots of angles. We actually had to draw that one in the class. So that was a little interesting.
Now, you could remember that we like when you guys make your art your own. So we're choosing to do circles, but these would be really cool if you did like a heart or a different kind of shape. It's all just kind of how much time you want to put into it. So we're gonna put different amounts of time, but that's what I'm starting with. That's what my circles are gonna be. And I'm just gonna glue them. So you're welcome to pause this, create yours, see what it looks like when ours are all done. You can hang out and chat with us. I wish there was a way that you could ask us questions or we could hear you right now while we're doing it. So we talked about favorite parts. If you zoom through the other ones, we talked about favorite parts of our houses. We talked about the virtual tour. We talked about Nick's architecture class at school. There are lots of places online that you can look at very famous buildings, and different museums have things as well. So this craft can take as long or as short as you like, because I like my shell. But I don't like drawing snails. Can you draw me a snail head? I think I always make the neck like too straight or something. So you're angling the neck out. And it's almost sort of like a worm, isn't it? Just a little bit bigger.
And if you want to add an antenna, you can.
Okay, thanks for drawing my snail for me.
No problemo.
All right, I want to look at your eyeball. I feel like I always make mine like too turtley or something. I don't know. So I think he definitely needs an antenna. Since we're waiting for Miss Kiana, I can make an antenna.
Which means we're also waiting for Miss Leslie.
Oh, I like how you chose the same colors. Like I did different.
I have a pen.
I have these guys.
Well, thank you anyway.
Though I love my shell, I don't like my antenna.
Cut out the ones.
Is it too big or what?
I don't know.
Maybe it's not round enough.
I think well, it's not round at all. So yeah, I think that would be maybe part of the problem. Mr. Nix has a ball on top.
Yes, it does.
Mine looks like a hat. So you said I needed to round it. You know, sometimes what helps me, because the picture in my head is not always the picture that I can make my art look like. And so sometimes what helps me is to go on Google and look at pictures. Maybe it's that he only has one. I'm trying to add it on.
Maybe try two then. I did add one more layer to my snail. Made it purple.
Okay, mine looks like a snail bunny now. I feel like I'm in that zoo with you again, making a snail bunny snake thing.
I don't know. That was pretty fun.
Oh, I haven't even named him yet.
Steve.
Gary.
It can't all be named Steve and Gary.
All of my animal.
All of mine are
All of my
Gary.
crafts have been named Steve.
We know.
Sam.
Mine are pretty much just, they've all been Gary. Because I mean, Gary the snail.
Can I have this glue stick, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And the snail.
Who is it? Sam?
Sam the snail.
So
Steve
remember,
the
one of the
snail.
things that we told you guys before is if you don't necessarily like what you have, it is okay to start over. I do not like my turtle snail head. I just don't. So since we're waiting on Kiana, I have time to do another one that I like even less.
Can I have the googly eyes again, please?
Yes, you can. Just gonna glue it here.
I actually like this, but it would have to go back here. So I guess I could just,
Could you glue it over top of the other one, maybe?
see, the problem is that I do it so he's pointing this way off the paper, which is not bad. I kind of like it, which means I can just go, goodbye, turtle snake.
You don't like my turtle head?
I did. I like that you created it for me. I just didn't like when I added a mouth, because then I made it a turtle. I like when we create things together. But I'm okay with like messing up, starting over. And now I really like him. His name is not Steve.
Mine is.
What's his name?
Once again, women need to be represented. So I think that her name
Stevette.
is Georgia.
Good name.
It's Georgia the same.
I like that.
All right. Well, gosh, Kiana, I gave you a hard time, but we finished at the same time. So, mine is Miss Georgia. She's beautiful. I love her.
Mine is Sam the snail. I like him a lot.
I named mine Gary. Again.
Hold on. Can you guess what Connor's is? Can you guess? Can you guess? Starts with an S. Its name is
Steve.
Steve.
He's Steve the snail.
All right, guys, don't forget to send us in what you've created. We would love to see your snails. We would love to hear their names.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hi guys, nice to be back with you. We are going to do some snail crafts that we thought of after we read Biggest House in the World. So the first one, we're going to make a snail out of a paper plate. Now we have different paper plates here. We have some green, we have some designed ones, and we have just the basic ones. So I want to use just this one. Which one do you guys want to use? Okay, and then we're going to need scissors. Mr. Nick, I only brought one pair. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
So you need a paper plate, scissors, and markers or crayons. So what you're going to do is this whole thing is going to become your shell. Okay, so you're going to cut it in a spiral. You can decide how skinny or fat you want it to be, and you just cut circles around it until it's in a spiral. Now I should have given them the option to color it first, but I really wanted you to just kind of see. See how it's getting long and like this? That's kind of what you want. You can cut as, I'll finish with my scissors quick if you guys want to make them. You can make the other, would you prefer that? The inside, but that's what you're looking for, a spiral.
Oh, thank you.
You don't need it. We'll wait for Miss Kiana.
I think I want a little thin.
No worries. It's all good, however you want to do it. And remember, you don't have to hurry to do art. If you're doing it with us and you just want to pause it, cut it out, start us again. That's one of the great things about us doing this online.
There we go.
Okay, so now when you look at this, I can see my shell and I can kind of turn my plate for how I want my shell to be. So I like my shell like that. I need to put a head on this because I don't want this part. Does that make sense? You can make any part you want that.
Okay.
So if you want to turn yours like that, and then you're going to take this, your scissors, and you're going to kind of curve it around so it looks like, excuse me, so it looks like a head, you can do that. I think I might want to try, oh, I kind of like mine that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now all you're going to do is decorate the shell. So we'll chat, we'll color, we'll talk with you. Maybe we'll have Mr. Nick ask us questions because he's filming, so he can just kind of ask us stuff. I'm thinking back on our book, Biggest House in the World, and the story, you know, of his dad being so smart and talking to him about being light so you can travel if you need to. I don't know, what other, mine has a hole in it, I might be able to make an eye out of that.
Paper plates. These, the markers, if you use markers, it's gonna.
Oh, if you use the fancy paper plate, you're finding that watercolor markers are gonna rub off. You need permanent markers,
Yes.
or
We can flip it over.
flip it up, that'll work too.
Flip it back.
I'm trying to think. I don't think mine looks so much like a snail yet. I
Yeah.
think I might want his head up even higher. So I might cut off even more.
I think I like.
'Cause if I
the
like his
thought of
snail, like-
smoothing this out. It just kind of is uneven. So if I just kind of smooth it out. Yeah, I like that a little better.
You know what I did?
What?
I used one of the pieces that I cut off, and I think I'm gonna tape it like that.
That's a good idea.
So he has his head sticking out.
Yeah.
So you can draw an eyeball on it, but if you noticed, every single one of us has been turning it and experimenting with what we like. But isn't a snail's head down at the bottom? So wouldn't I need to put him down there?
I have no clue.
Yeah.
What do you think? Does
Mr.
that
Connor,
look
are you
like a
gonna
snail?
decorate your
Yeah.
shell?
Yes. Actually, fine.
So now if I was Mr. Connor, and we didn't bring it, but if I was Mr. Connor, I think I might try to find stickers and stuff, because his plate, I don't think we have any. I have some Barbie ones, but I don't know that you want a Barbie snail. But that would be cool if you have stickers at home to decorate with.
It's magic. Ready?
It's magic.
Look, are you ready?
Yep, that's the part. So mine are the plates that do not have a coating on it. So I'm not having a problem using our waterproof markers, but you and Kiana's both have coating on it. So you might need to flip it over and do the other side.
Okay.
Because we don't have
All right,
permanent markers.
I just put my head on like that. Okay, that makes me feel better. Mine has a dot because at Phoebe we reuse, recycle, and that's not where I want his eye. So I'm just gonna put another piece of tape, put some paper behind it. One of the things that I've always enjoyed doing with you guys, with my campers at Phoebe, is you have always come up with solutions. Like to me, having that hole in there, you would say, well, can't you just put a paper behind it? Yes, I can. So I always enjoy you all
You get a little bit
talking
on your
with me.
finger. Maybe.
Talking with me about how you would change and do things. So I really truly hope that you are sending it your pictures, because I want to see, even though we're starting out like this, I want to see what you guys are coming up with. And for me, I need to start making his eyes before I can decorate. And he sort of looks like, look, Mr. Nick, mine sort of looks like he has a mohawk. So I think I'm gonna round that off, because I just want him to look like a snail. So let's talk about our houses. What is your favorite thing in your house?
My dogs.
Your dogs. So it's more important to you what's in your house than designs on your house or
Yes.
how your house is built. Okay. What's your favorite thing on your house? About your house?
My bed.
Connor does enjoy sleeping. I was thinking about like parts of our house, not necessarily things. So my favorite thing about my house, if you've been there, is my kitchen. Because my kitchen is where it seems to me that all of my friends hang out, where we always wind up talking. You know, when you have people over, they're leaning on your counter eating or doing whatever. And so my kitchen is, it has an 8-foot long island in the middle of it. And so people can go in there and just sort of hang out, and that's one of my favorites.
I like my porches. I like to sit outside on my porch a lot. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to go sit out either on the front porch. Depends on if I want to see people or not. Because if I sit on the front porch, I can wave at my neighbors as they go by. But if I want to sit like in the shade, away from people, you've got the back porch. So I like my porches a lot.
So besides the bed, what's your favorite feature of your house, Connor?
I like the basement.
Why do you like the basement?
'Cause it's all roomy. There's tons of space. No one ever goes down there but me, basically. So
Do you guys have like a finished basement? Are there like chairs and?
yeah, there's like a whole living room set up in the basement. We have like an actual living room, and then in the basement we have a couch and a chair and a TV.
So it's like your hangout room.
Yep.
Alright. So I have hiccups. I'm gonna have to stop and go get a drink of water. What do you guys do when you have hiccups?
Hiccup.
You just hiccup? You just let them run at their
Yeah,
course?
It depends. Sometimes I'll drink a glass of water, like hold it, and then when I feel a hiccup come and swallow.
So a trick that you guys can do if someone in your family has hiccups, you can say, what do you like better in your hamburger, salt or pepper? And they're gonna look at you funny and they're gonna decide and tell you, and then you can say your hiccups are gone and they will think that you are magic. But all you've done is made them change their breathing, because hiccups are because air gets caught and that's why we hiccup. So I'm gonna go drink some water and try to change my breathing. Mr. Nick, if you wanna set up the camera and help me color. Welcome back. So we finished ours. As always, everybody's looks a little bit different. So here's mine. Nick and I kind of created together. I like this because it's kind of springy, so that's kind of fun to play with. And I just did a googly eye, but you can draw one. But yeah, that's mine.
Mine. He's a snail, and he has the eye and whatever. I tried putting a string through him, now he's all sprinky.
Here's mine. His eyes are a little bit bigger than in his body, his little head.
So he does better laying down.
Yes, he does better laying down.
Tell him who you
But
thought he looked like.
Gary from SpongeBob. His
We
little
like him.
floppies.
So send us your pics. We'd really like to see them. We're going to do another snail craft in just a minute, but we need to clean up a bit first. See you in a minute.
Alright guys, we read The Biggest House in the World, and now I have a poem that kind of follows that. So if you remember, a snail was in that book, and snails move very, very slowly. Can you guys all show me how slow a snail moves? And you can do it on your arm, you could do it on your leg, whatever you would want to do, okay? And they move very, very slowly. Can you do that with us? What if I change the animal on you? A mouse, right? A mouse moves very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. And again, you can do that on your legs too, okay? So I have a poem, and I'm going to read it for you, and we're going to do the hand motions together. Everybody ready? Slowly, slowly, very slowly, creeps the garden snail. Slowly, slowly, very slowly, up the wooden rail. Quickly, quickly, very quickly, runs the little mouse. Quickly, quickly, very quickly, runs back inside his house. Slowly, slowly, very slowly, creeps the garden snail. Slowly, slowly, very slowly, up the wooden rail. Quickly, quickly, very quickly, runs the little mouse. Quickly, quickly, very quickly, back inside his house. Good job, guys.
Okay, so we found another website that talks a lot about architecture. It's called tripsavvy.com, and you can go and tour about 10 places. There are these really cool houses and concert halls and things like that you can look at. So in 8th grade, I took a class on architecture, so I know a little bit about some of these places. We researched a few. So this one, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I'll do my best. The Taliesin. It looks like a gigantic house that's very modern. So let's see. There's this whole paragraph here talking about it. Frank Lloyd Wright. So he was a great architect in his time, and he built many strange or different type buildings when he was around. There are links to do each and every virtual tour that is on this website in these paragraphs below, which you'll see on the screen recording. The next one is the Milwaukee Art Museum. So if you look at it, if you know the Taubman in Roanoke, that's our art museum. It kind of looks similar in the fact that it has a lot of weird shapes and angles going on with it. What do you see, Miss Kiana?
I see the thing in Roanoke.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool.
it's again very modern, which is a lot of what's going on now. A lot of modern things are happening. And let's read this just really quick. Oh, Time Magazine said it was Design of the Year in 2001. So that's very interesting about that.
We're not going to read the whole paragraph out loud, but you can pause if you want to read it on screen recording, or you can visit the link at the top of the video to read it yourself.
Okay, the next one is called the Colour Palace, which is in London. So this one looks like it's just a big house that has lots of colors. You don't see a whole lot of these buildings around that are just very colorful and bright and have a mixture of so many different colors. Usually a house or a building is one color, and many like big corporations or whatever are usually like big and gray stone or metal. So this one's really interesting in the way that it looks. And yeah, European influences. It's almost looks like a rainbow, as it says in the paragraph here. So yeah, if you want to go tour that one, I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh, the Versailles Palace. This one is in France.
Yes.
So if you ever have heard of the Treaty of Versailles, that was also in France. So that's how these two kind of relate. And the reason we're going through all these is to relate to The Biggest House in the World, which is the book we read at the beginning of this session with Miss Lesky. So if you want to go and watch that, you can see how all this connects. And these places are usually pretty big or interesting in their own way. So yeah, Versailles Palace, very big, very fancy. Yeah.
It's cool, but they have so many chandeliers. Like.
Alright, so this is the Walt Disney Concert Hall. This one I actually did study a little bit in the class. We had to draw it. That was a little difficult because it has so many weird shapes with it. The metal kind of looks like it was just dropped and it stayed there. It doesn't really look like a building. It kind of just looks like a bunch of metal in the ground. So it's a really interesting building. I forget who built this. Architect Frank Gehry, I think is how you say that. So he did this. Again, this is a very influential building just because of the different style of art that was used in it. Do you have anything to say about this?
No, I agree with you. It really does look like somebody just dropped some metal down on the ground.
Okay. Next one, if it loads, is called Farm Street Church. Hopefully it loads. Okay, it doesn't look like that one wants to load right now, so we'll go to this one. The Sacré-Cœur, I think is how you say that. Not exactly sure. It almost looks like a church itself. It may be, let's see, what is this one? It's not telling us exactly what it is, but I think if you did go on the virtual tour, it would tell you a little bit more about it. It almost looks like the Taj Mahal from India in a way.
Yeah.
Just obviously a little smaller and with not as many colors on it. Let's see if the farm one is loaded. Does not look like it has. So from what I saw, it looks like just a big church. It looks very old and very rustic in a way. So I would encourage you to go on that tour. Next is the Sydney Opera House. So I think almost everyone knows about this one, especially if you watched the movie Finding Nemo. They went near this one. So this is a very interesting building. Would you like to say a few words back?
No, I was going to say this is the one from Nemo.
Yep. I want to say it's more of a concert hall since it is the opera house, so that would make sense. Yeah, Sydney Symphony Orchestra. So yeah, this would be a really cool tour to go on if you haven't obviously been inside yet. So yeah, you can look at the building from Nemo. The Dominion office, oh no, there's an ad. Okay, well,
Press remake. And then just click off of it. There we go.
they can edit that. All right, so the Dominion office building. I'm not sure why they built it like that. It's really just an office building with some weird curves and little pieces that are kind of jutted out.
Kind of looks like a poorly built Jenga tower.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's in Moscow. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the street that it's on. It's about 57 letters long, it looks like, so that's fun. Yeah, so that one's pretty neat. The Sistine Chapel. Okay, so we did study this one as well. It is a church in the middle of Italy. So this one's a really interesting one because the Pope will sometimes, well, the Pope will be there. Michelangelo painted there on the ceiling. So I think that would be a really cool tour to go on to see Michelangelo's artwork. And yeah, so this relates to the biggest house in the world. So if you want to see any more of this, then go ahead and look some more up virtual tours of these amazing buildings and see what you can find.
Hi everyone, so nice to be with you again. I'm here with Mr. John,
Good morning, Leslie. Good to be with you all.
and he's going to share a story with us.
So this is a story that comes from the Gospel of Matthew, and the name of the story is The Rich Young Ruler. So someone came to Jesus and said to him, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus said to him, "Why are you asking me what you must do? You know the commandments." And Jesus said, "You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, honor your mother and your father, you shall love your neighbor as yourself." And the young ruler said to Jesus, "I have kept all these. What do I still lack?" And Jesus said to him, "If you wish to be perfect, go and sell your possessions and give your money to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And then come and follow me." When the rich young ruler heard this, he went away grieving because he had so many possessions.
Wow. So that story confuses me a little because God doesn't tell us to give away all our possessions to follow him. And he tells us to, obey the 10 Commandments, but that was kind of the old law that the Jews had to follow. So I guess the story kind of confuses me because the God of my understanding says I just need to love him and accept him as my Savior, and what I should be doing is trying to be like Christ. So I think I'm confused by this story.
Well, I think, lots of times there are things that get in the way of loving our neighbor and loving God. And oftentimes they are things that we put as a priority over God. So, for example, lots of people are concerned about their wealth. They've got to have lots of money. And when they get lots of money, they're still not satisfied. They still want more money. And at some point, those things get in the way of loving God and loving our neighbor and doing the things that God asks us to do. But it could be anything. It could be collecting cars. It could be
Wanting to go fishing all the time.
yeah, wanting to go fishing.
I guess I really could. So the story's not necessarily about money. It's about the things that we have in our lives that we don't want to give up because they're important to us.
Right.
Is that what I'm getting
And for
at?
him, it was possessions because, the story began, he was a rich young ruler. So there were a couple things that he had. He obviously had a lot of money, and he had a lot of things, possessions, and he had a lot of power because he was a ruler. And he wanted to keep all those things and still be like Jesus. But Jesus says, it doesn't really work that way.
So does sometimes following Jesus make us uncomfortable, make you uncomfortable, make me uncomfortable? Does God push us out of where we're comfortable?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it happens to me all the time. And it happens, and to me this is just the saddest story, because the rich young ruler realizes that he has so much that he either can't give it all away or doesn't want to give it all away, and goes away. And to me that's really sad that he just kind of gives up. But I think that the good news is in this is that God gives us more than one opportunity.
Right. He didn't tell us whether he went away, thought about it, came back, gave away his possessions, or did what he ever needed to do.
Or he runs into him once a week and they have the same conversation.
Right.
And every time he gets a little closer, maybe.
Right.
Who knows exactly how that works. But
so us becoming who we need to be is a journey we need to travel every day.
Absolutely.
So this story makes me think of the biggest house in the world that we read today, because it was about a little snail and he just wanted a huge, huge, huge house. And so he figured out how to make a huge, huge, huge house out of his shell. But then when there was no more cabbage to eat and everybody left to go to another cabbage, he couldn't. It was too heavy. He just couldn't go anywhere. And so that sort of makes me think, like, his house was holding him back. The thing that the rich royalty guy didn't want to give up, his riches, that's what was holding him back from really getting closer to God.
A long time ago, I lived in Arizona, and next to the church where I worked was the largest house in Arizona. It was 58,000 square feet. Now, most people live in a house probably maybe 1,500 square feet. If a really big house would be maybe 3,000 square feet. But this was 58,000 square feet. It had 3 swimming pools, a bowling alley. The house just went on and on and on. And one single man lived in the house, all by himself.
Oh, that sounds so lonely.
Isn't that the strangest thing?
That sounds very lonely to me.
And so most of us would look at that and say, he didn't really need all that house. There could have been 20 people that lived in a house that size, or 30 people. But he kept it all for himself. And I think Jesus is always asking us to look at what we have and to look at who we are, and ask us or ask us to ask ourselves what's important to us, what really matters. And in the story that you're talking about, that you read today, they find out that their big house they created wasn't working for them, and they needed to do something else. So,
Mr. John, I love our talks and our stories. It makes me think about lots and lots of things. If I was a kid at home, I would probably pause this and think about some stuff that we've talked about.
Go look around your room. Just look in your bedroom and look at all the things in there that you haven't used in the last 3 months. Clothes or toys. I could fill boxes up in my house.
Yeah. Well, guys, we've enjoyed spending time with you. We hope you have a great day. We hope you are grateful for what you have. We hope that you are seeking to be closer to God and to get to know Him. Take care.
Thanks for being with us.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Why was Tigger looking in the toilet? Because he was searching for poo.
Hey, I'm Mr. Jacob. We're going to do the Superman prayer. So if you're ready, here we go, alright? Thank you, God, for giving us food.
Thank you, God, for giving us food, our daily bread, our mouths are fed. Thank you, God, for giving us food. Amen.
Thank you.
Okay, campers, end of our day, end of our session. We've enjoyed spending time with you. We've liked reading with you. We've liked doing crafts with you, songs, dances, so many things. We wish we were together, but we're glad that we got to spend this time. Thanks for joining us, and we're just a little tired, so we're gonna say goodbye and good